and everything stops for tea.
Well, a very good morning to you. This is the first of A Cup of Tea with Mr. G live, and I'm joined by these two wonderfully talented people, the lovely REAY.
Good morning.
And also Luke Palmer.
Morning.
So I'm here in the wonderful northeast. I was in County Durham yesterday, so I've made the journey over here, and we're having a cup of tea and we're going to have a nice little chat. Now, Anna, how many years ago was it when I did a cup of tea with Mr. G online with you?
Oh, it must have been about four years ago.
4 years ago. And if you have a look on the YouTube, you'll find the interview which I did. At that time, it was during the lockdown, and you were doing a most incredible. what were they called?
Anagrams.
Right. Now, just tell everybody, how first of all did you come up with the concept of an anagram, and what is an anagram?
Well, basically, through the lockdown, obviously we had no work, no money, and I think panic set in. So I started, actually people were asking me to record songs, so it started with the videos. So I'd record a song for somebody, like as a virtual greeting song, I was calling them, and putting the song against pictures and videos and sending them all over the world. So it started like that, and then I started doing doorstep performances. So I converted the car so I could power my speakers from the car. And I did gigs in fields, alleyways. Sounds a bit creepy, really, doesn't it?
Down the avenues and alleyways.
In the dark, all weather conditions. So yeah, I did, and I ended up getting nominated and shortlisted for 2 business awards through doing the anagrams as well. So I did really well.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And I've got something to talk to you about. Luke, lovely to see you again, because we just keep bumping into each other.
We do indeed, we do. We have over a long period of time as well.
I think it was Viva Showcase, me and Corky.
Yes,
we saw you
that's
then.
Right, yeah.
And then the last one was Mark Layton Showcase.
Yes, I was doing it on Dean Taylor's behalf with Empire Leisure, but they were joining it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think I first met you in 2016 on the REAY. That's when I was a resident act.
Yeah.
And I think you won my very first cruise. I think we went to Norway, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. Norway. I remember I'd never ever not see you in the lounge. It was like 45 minute sets.
Yeah. I should have just pitched camp in there. I think I needed my own tent. If you need me, I'll be in the cupboard.
So that was when you were doing your solo stuff, but you're of course doing your Ezra show now.
Yes. So I think it was 3 years I did like the residency thing where I worked with you, like, well, we could be anywhere in the world together, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like we said, it could be anywhere from Dundee to the Dominican Republic. And then 2019 I started the Ezra show. And when I started the Ezra show, and I've done that ever since. And that's when I saw you at Viva when I was doing that showcase.
And how's it going?
Yeah, it's going wonderful. Yeah, it's just business as usual. I'm hoping he brings out a new album this year. There's rumours he might, so that always helps. And I've got my Guitar Legend show as well, which is going to be a theatre show this year as well.
You see, very talented people. They got not just one show, a number of shows. Talking about shows, let's come over to your shows. Now, just how many shows have you got, Anna?
Oh, goodness. So my cabaret show is called Great Ladies of Song. And then there's a little branch off that one called Great Ladies of Country. So as you can probably get, there's lots of great ladies of all sorts.
Yeah, great ladies.
And,
you're a great singer.
Oh, thank you very much. And I've just been doing a couple of theatre shows with a what would you call it? A show called Country Roads. So there's 5 lead vocalists, and obviously singing all songs from country with a full live band. So I've been doing some of those as well.
Favourite country singer?
Oh, well, I used to do a tribute to Shania Twain.
Right.
But I would say my favourite, I used to listen to Crystal Gale when I was growing up.
Yeah.
We used to have we used to have a little cassette in the car. I'm showing my age now. and we used to drive to see
You
houses.
didn't say an 8-track underneath the underneath the glove box. That's showing your age.
So yeah, probably Crystal Gale. She brings back lots of memories.
Right. Christmas time, you do a special Anna Ray Christmas show.
Anna Ray Christmas.
Now, I'm going to ask you about your ventriloquism.
Oh yeah.
I love ventriloquism. So, how, why, and when was the first time you actually discovered you could do ventriloquism?
Well, when I was young, I've always wanted to sing, and I've always sang, but I'm quite shy. I used to be really shy. So
People wouldn't believe this about entertainers. We are shy people.
So instead of singing like that, I would sing like this. And it was all about confidence. So I got asked to do a TV advert, and they said, have you got a talent which is something a bit different? So I said, I can sing with my mouth closed, because I don't think it's ventriloquism, even though it is. So they wanted my little boy to sit on my knee, and they wanted him to be the puppet, and I ended up buying a puppet to do this advert, and that's when I started doing it. So it was just a little joke really to break up the show, and I did a gig, another different show, one enchanted evening at the Sage, and I brought the puppet out.
What's
there.
the puppet called?
Doris.
And what sort of puppet is Doris?
It's a big orange orangutan.
Well, it would be. You know.
But she sings opera.
Now, you are an opera singer.
I sing a little bit of everything.
Were you trained to be a soprano?
So I've got a degree in popular music, but I used to do sort of classical singing lessons, so I'd like to do a little bit of everything.
And are you trained, Luke?
Yes, I've got a degree in popular music. I've got the same degree as Anna. That's how we know each other, actually. How long have I known you, Anna?
There's 3
21
people
years?
here,
Well,
and
I'm
one
not
of these
22 now.
there's 3 people here, and one of these people hasn't got a degree.
You'll get one after today.
With honours.
But you're not like, I shouldn't say this, but you're not like affected. Go, I got a degree. You know, you're just very down to earth, professional acts, aren't you?
I think having a degree in music, I've never really saw it as a badge of honour, really, have you? It's just, sometimes I forget I have it.
I know, I do. I think it's just because you're learning your trade as you're still at college and university and stuff.
So I used to be a lecturer in music. I used to teach music, yeah, and so did Anna, actually. Yeah. It's 10 years since I quit, though.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question. When people go, I'll never be able to do that, I can't do this, I'm not musical, I'm stone deaf, I can't do that. How do you actually tackle that negativity that people have?
Ooh, tricky.
Yeah, go home.
What are you doing at home? Your teacher said, I'll never be...
They say that singing is an extension of your speaking voice. So if you can hear the note and you can sing the note back, then you've got something to work on. I have worked with some people who, when they hear the note, they're not listening to the note, so they're not singing that note back. So
And do you think that's because they feel like they're making a fool of themselves? I think they're going to be judged.
It's like the negativity, like you say, but when you're telling yourself you can't do something.
I think a lot of people who are starting out who say those things in the very early days, it actually doesn't happen for them. And the people who don't go on to do something, they might have doubts about their ability to, you know, how much they're progressing. But did you notice that? Like people who really want it, they don't really talk like that.
Yeah.
They get frustrated with themselves.
Yeah.
But I think all the things that you're saying, like if those things come really early on, it's, you tend not to see it emerge into anything.
Yeah, they don't really want to do it. You know?
Yes.
I think ventriloquism, where you're having fun with your voice, I think it is such a great thing when you watch kids and the way they play with their voice. It's like you say, right, okay, you've got a little lad, and it's Christmas time, you give him a present and it's in a big box. Chances are he takes the present out and he plays it with a box more. And he pretends it's a racing car or a spaceship. Captain Clark started 3, 2, 1, spark. And kids just don't think about these sounds. They make high sounds, low sounds, funny sounds. But when we become adults, it's not a cool thing. When you're going out with girls, you know, you go, oh, hello, how are you? You know, oh, hello, how are you? You know? So there's this conscious thing about using your voice.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I think if you can just be a kid
Yeah.
and a creative kid,
Yeah.
I think it's
Because when you're singing, just when you're teaching, some of the exercises I would give would be like if you're on a roller coaster and you're going whee.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like sort of childlike
laughing,
things,
uh-huh.
aren't there? Like
Or like
exhilaration
witches'
and things like that,
sounds.
yeah.
And how do you, right, going back your voice for the ventriloquist, the orangutan,
Doris.
yeah. So how do you write with that? What's the voice sound like?
It just sounds like that. But then she sings.
Wow. Wow.
So there's the contrast of a talking voice and a singing voice. I gotta do what I'm laughing though.
It's so funny you should say that because in my act I just stumble across stuff. And,
Yeah.
And Roy Orbison, you know,
Yeah.
I thought, I wonder if I could do that without moving my mouth. So I just, honey, honey, no, I've got friends of mine, they're husband and wife, and they're both ventriloquists, and
Right.
they just had a baby, and I rang up to congratulate them and said, what did you have? They said, we have a beautiful gaggy goy. So, right, 4 years ago, we were all doom and gloom, and a lot of people said, well, I'm just going to go and put a taxi sign on top of my car, and that's it,
Yeah.
give up
Yeah.
the business. Did you ever think about business, well, we're not going to carry on with it? You obviously went and thought, what can I do, not what can't I do?
Yeah, but actually that's the exact thing I thought. I thought there must be some way. I needed to sing for my mental health. So I was recording a song every Thursday to release for the Clap for the Carers. It was a bit pathetic really the way it went on.
No?
But I needed to sing, and I didn't realise how much I needed music until that happened. So if I'm not singing, I'm depressed.
Absolutely,
needed to do
you know,
it.
work is a, you know, such an important thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you ever thought about coming out of the business?
You know, during lockdown, briefly, it wasn't so much that I thought about coming out of the business. The way things were, I wasn't sure if the business was going to survive because it was all so bleak.
It's changed a lot, I think.
Yeah. So it was thinking along the lines, I set up a studio in my house. It's like I'm thinking, is it going to turn into a digital age where everyone's doing everything online? And it was a similar setup to what this is now. And I thought, oh, is it a case of where I'm going to have to go into the production side? Which I didn't prefer as much, but kept one foot in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then we came out of lockdown, and for some reason, with the agency I was working with at the time, all of a sudden it just hit the ground running, and I was working. It was like it had never went away. You know, I was quite lucky in that respect. So I would say, yeah, there was a brief episode where I thought the industry was over. But it's one of those things where it's like Anna was saying, like your mental health depends on it, you know, like just the amount of pride you put into it and like the creativity. You don't want to be beaten by that. You don't want it to be over. Yeah. You don't want someone else to dictate whether it's over for you.
Yeah.
You know, you want it to be over when you say it's over.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I felt about it.
And I think that's a great thing is where I think you mentioned earlier, you know, you're always working at this craft. You know, you haven't arrived at a final destination saying, that's it. Mm-hmm. You're always pushing yourself with new shows and different concepts and stuff.
I find different sides of my voice all the time still. So I do a lot of gigs with the singing waiters, Waiter Surprise.
Yes, I saw something about that.
And I love working with other singers because you learn from them. You learn how
I'm sort
they're
of
doing things.
like a casual member of that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I enjoy that.
And,
I enjoy it very much.
And just practice it. It's like being an athlete. You need to keep your muscles going, but you find different sides. You think if there's a lot of negativity in your head, like, oh, I'll never be able to sing that. But actually, as time goes on, you think, I just do it.
Do you have a critic that you would say, what do you think of this? And they'll say, I think that's brilliant. Or
my mum and dad.
Are
Mum and dad.
Are they pretty down to earth and say, no, I don't think that's your sort of song?
My mum is soft as anything. She thinks everything's wonderful. And my dad is brutally honest. He'll go, that's dreadful, that. I had a dress on the other day and he said, I said, how bad is this dress? He went, put it this way, you look like Susan Boyle in it.
I want.
So yeah.
They're both lovely people, by the way. They really are.
So he's brutal, but I don't like that. But like musicians who I know and other singers, I would ask them
Yeah.
for their opinion.
My corgi, she was obviously Newcastle. And,
Yeah.
She was not everybody's cup of tea, and if they weren't their cup of tea, they were a mug. That's what I used to say.
She was
Because
definitely my cup of tea.
she, honestly,
I used to
she
sit
was
with them.
manager as well.
Yeah.
And I used to call her Corky. I said, Corky, I've been practicing this impression. Well, let's have a listen to it. And I'll do that, and I'll say, Morgan Freeman, sometimes I have to wonder, and I sit on the roof and drink, and he says, well, that's shite. Bonnie lad, didn't waste my time. So I had to go back, and it was reverse psychology, because she knew I'd be so annoyed.
Right.
And then I'll go back, so I'll go and we'll do a show, and I'll sit there, Morgan Freeman, sometimes. Right, I've got it now.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think you need that sometimes. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people who just will go and blow smoke. But
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it's so this year, 2000, it's steaming along, isn't it? 2025.
I know.
It
Just
is,
flies.
yeah.
So
It really is this
what's happening this year? I know you go to see a lot. You go to see.
Yes.
Are you going back to see soon?
So I'm just about to do another showcase for some American cruise lines, and I want Doris in the show, so I'm going to have to add some more of Doris
Don
in.
Casino? Agency?
It's Jane Curry.
Jane.
So she works with Don Casino.
Yeah.
She mentioned Don Casino.
Yeah.
So so Doris is going to be
They'll snap you up.
right. Good.
Yeah. I think so.
I don't go and snap you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I'm actually, well, my agent is now an old friend of both of ours. She's working for Alan Fraser and Nicola Jane.
Right.
So
Nicola Jane.
So Nicola Jane's
Marvelous.
representing. Well, Alan Fraser is as well.
Yeah.
But Nicola's now working for him because Alan's sort of stepping away a little bit. And she's taking the reins a little bit. But it's nice to have her in that position because she's an old friend, and you know,
she's in the business. She knows it.
she certainly is, yeah. And she's a lovely person, as you know.
Yeah.
So-
But it's a small world, isn't it?
It
It
is.
is.
a small
I wouldn't
world.
like to paint it,
No,
but it is a small world, and we just connect and everything like this. And thank you so much for letting me connect with you. That sounds a bit.
yeah. Sounded very bougie, didn't it?
Is that what you call it down there?
Yeah. Very panache.
No, it's been an absolute joy to be chat to you today, and thank you for the tea and everything. So I'm going to say it's a cup of tea, Mr. G, with the lovely Anna REAY and Luke Palmer. Until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye.